Pre-names. It hasn't asked me yet.
But if you have a patient that lacks extension, this is a great mobilization that you can have the patient, as you do perform the mobilization, you move through the extension bone motion. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
So I could have the person like this, perform my traction, and say, okay, I want you to extend, tell the patient, extend, using their triceps against your hand, my hand here. Just lightly extend, go ahead, as we do the mobilization. Slide back just a little bit more here, so it don't hurt your elbow. There you go. Or I could just do it passively. I like to do anything I can actively as much as possible, okay, because it kind of does two things. It recruits the triceps, it takes it into the newfound range, plus you're doing the mob. Go ahead and do it again, extend lightly. And then it just come back, push.
That's really nice. Instead of just
Push.
seeing therapists crank them into extension, just really go with the joint motion.
And it's one of those things like kind of evolve as a manual therapist. Like first you learn the mobs in the resting position, then you go outside of that, then you're like, how can I fiddle around with this a little bit? That's one of these things you can fiddle with, and then eventually maybe work your pace towards. And it's a good thing. A lot of these mobilizations we show you, the next step could be mobilization with movement at any time. Okay, so maybe something to kind of think about as you're going through them. Yes.
Another question that came up is this, one of the students said, well, how do you know when to do this or not? For one thing, I said, well, you want to check the other side to make sure that there is an end field that's limited.
Mm-hmm.
Because other things could limit elbow extension. So just because they have a limitation in elbow extension doesn't mean you necessarily would do this. You would check the end field compared to the other side and decide if they even needed it, and then determine if you even needed to progress that range.
Right. And so if you had an empty end field, or a real swollen joint, I don't know if I would do a mobilization like that to that. Does that make sense? So you have to kind of make that on the call. Make that call on the fly. Okay, good. Let's do this. Let's take a break.